You're trapped in a dark room, the walls are closing in, you can't breathe, and then you wake up, heart pounding, drenched in sweat. It's that nightmare again, the same one you've had countless times before, but why? What if these recurring nightmares aren't just random creations of your mind, but messages from your subconscious, or something even more unsettling? Today, we're going to uncover the chilling truth behind your recurring nightmares, and trust me, the answer might keep you up at night. Recurring nightmares are dreams that repeat themselves, often with the same or similar frightening content over an extended period. They're more than just bad dreams. They're persistent, disturbing experiences that can leave you feeling anxious, depressed, or even terrified, long after you've woken up. These nightmares can vary in frequency, from nightly occurrences to sporadic episodes spread out over months or years. What sets them apart from regular dreams is their repetitive nature and the intense negative emotions they evoke. They often feature themes of being chased, falling, or experiencing a catastrophic event. Some people report having the exact same nightmare repeatedly, while others experience variations on a theme. Now let's explore the 8 disturbing reasons why you might be trapped in this cycle of terror. 1. Your brain is stuck in a fear loop. Think of your brain as a record player and your recurring nightmare as a scratch on the vinyl. Every time the needle hits that scratch, it plays the same frightening tune. This isn't just a quirk of your imagination, it's your brain's fear center getting stuck in a loop. When you experience something traumatic or intensely frightening, your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for processing emotions, goes into overdrive. It starts creating strong neural pathways associated with that fear. These pathways are like well-worn trails in a forest. The more you walk them, the clearer and easier to follow they become. In the case of recurring nightmares, your brain keeps defaulting to these fear pathways during sleep. It's like your subconscious mind is trying to process and make sense of the fear, but instead of resolving it, it just keeps replaying the same scenario. This doesn't mean you're weak or can't handle fear. In fact, it's your brain's way of trying to protect you. By repeatedly exposing you to the fear in a safe dream environment, it might be attempting to desensitize you or prepare you for potential real-life threats. The problem is, this strategy often backfires, reinforcing the fear instead of resolving it. Breaking this cycle isn't easy, but it's possible. Techniques like image rehearsal therapy, where you consciously reimagine and rewrite the nightmare while awake, have shown promise in redirecting these neural pathways and reducing the frequency of recurring nightmares. 2. You're carrying unresolved trauma. Your recurring nightmare might be more than just a bad dream. It could be a window into your past trauma. The human psyche has a remarkable ability to bury painful experiences, but these buried emotions don't just disappear. They often resurface in our dreams, especially when we're feeling vulnerable or stressed. Consider this. A study published in the Journal of Traumatic Stress found that 80% of PTSD patients experience frequent nightmares. These aren't always direct replays of the traumatic event. Instead, they might manifest as symbolic representations of the fear, helplessness, or anger associated with the trauma. Your recurring nightmare might be your mind's way of processing this unresolved trauma. It's like your subconscious is waving a red flag trying to get your attention. The nightmare keeps repeating because the underlying issue hasn't been addressed. This doesn't mean you need to relive your trauma to stop the nightmares. Instead, it might be a sign that it's time to seek professional help. A therapist trained in trauma-informed care can help you safely explore and process these buried emotions, potentially putting an end to the nightmares that have been haunting you. 3. Your subconscious is sending you a warning. What if your recurring nightmare isn't just a random terror, but a carefully crafted message from your subconscious mind? Your brain is constantly processing information, much of it below the level of conscious awareness. Sometimes it picks up on subtle cues and patterns that your waking mind misses. Your recurring nightmare might be your subconscious mind's way of alerting you to a threat or problem in your waking life. It's like an internal alarm system, using the language of dreams to communicate important information. For instance, if you keep dreaming about drowning, it might not be about water at all. It could be your subconscious telling you that you're feeling overwhelmed in your daily life. A dream about being chased might indicate that you're avoiding a problem or responsibility that you need to face. The key to decoding these messages lies in the emotions you feel during the nightmare, rather than the specific imagery. Are you feeling trapped, powerless, afraid of something catching up with you? These emotions could be reflections of your waking life concerns. 4. You're stuck in a cycle of anticipatory anxiety. Have you ever noticed that the more you worry about having a nightmare, the more likely you are to have one? This isn't just coincidence, it's a psychological phenomenon known as anticipatory anxiety, and it might be the reason your nightmare keeps coming back. When you go to bed dreading another night of terrors, you're essentially programming your brain to enter nightmare mode. It's like setting an alarm clock for fear. Your anxiety about the nightmare creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, increasing the likelihood that you'll experience it again. This cycle can be particularly insidious because it feeds on itself. The more you have the nightmare, the more you fear having it, which in turn makes it more likely to occur. It's a vicious circle that can feel impossible to break. Breaking this cycle requires a shift in mindset. Instead of going to bed with fear, try to cultivate a sense of curiosity about your dreams. What if, instead of dreading the nightmare, you approached it as an opportunity to learn something about yourself? Techniques like lucid dreaming, where you become aware that you're dreaming while still asleep, can be particularly effective in dealing with recurring nightmares. By recognizing the dream state, you can potentially take control of the narrative, turning the nightmare into a more positive experience. 5. Your lifestyle is fueling your night terrors. You might be inadvertently feeding your nightmares without even realizing it. Your daily habits and lifestyle choices can have a profound impact on your dream life, and some of these factors might surprise you. Let's start with the obvious. Stress. High levels of stress can increase the frequency and intensity of nightmares. But it's not just major life stresses that can trigger these dreams. Even seemingly minor daily hassles can accumulate and manifest as nightmares. Your diet plays a role too. Eating heavy meals close to bedtime can increase brain metabolism, leading to more intense dream activity. Spicy foods, in particular, have been linked to an increase in nightmare frequency. And while that nightcap might help you fall asleep faster, alcohol actually disrupts your sleep cycles, potentially leading to more vivid and disturbing dreams. Screen time before bed is another culprit. The blue light emitted by phones, tablets, and computers can interfere with your body's production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. This can lead to poorer sleep quality and more frequent nightmares. Even your sleeping position can influence your dreams. A study published in the journal Sleep and Hypnosis found that people who sleep on their left side report more nightmares than those who sleep on their right. 6. Your nightmare is a glimpse into your deepest fears. What if your recurring nightmare isn't just a random terror, but a window into your psyche? Carl Jung, the famous psychoanalyst, believed that dreams were a way for our unconscious mind to communicate with our conscious self. Your recurring nightmare might be your unconscious mind's attempt to bring your deepest fears to the surface. These fears aren't always obvious. You might dream of being chased, but the real fear could be about feeling out of control in your life. A dream about falling might represent a fear of failure or insecurity about your position in life. The key to understanding these symbolic representations lies in the emotions you feel during the nightmare, rather than the specific imagery. Are you feeling helpless, abandoned, overwhelmed? These emotions could be clues to the underlying fears your psyche is trying to process. Keeping a dream journal can be incredibly helpful in uncovering these patterns. By recording your dreams and the emotions associated with them, you might start to see connections to your waking life that weren't apparent before. Understanding the symbolism in your dreams doesn't necessarily make the nightmares stop immediately. However, it can provide valuable insights into your psyche and help you address the root causes of your fears. As you work through these underlying issues, you might find that your recurring nightmare begins to lose its power or transform into something less frightening. 7. You're experiencing a glitch in your reality. There is a mind-bending possibility. Your recurring nightmare isn't just a dream, but a glimpse into an alternate reality. This might sound like science fiction, but some researchers in the field of quantum physics suggest it could be more than just fantasy. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics proposes that all possible alternate histories and futures are real, each representing an actual world or parallel universe. In this framework, your recurring nightmare could be a bleed-through from one of these parallel realities. While this theory is highly speculative and not scientifically proven, it offers an intriguing perspective on recurring nightmares. It suggests that in some parallel universe, the events of your nightmare might actually be happening. Your dream could be a form of quantum entanglement, allowing you to experience events from this alternate reality. This concept ties into the idea of precognitive dreams, dreams that seem to predict future events. If we consider the possibility of multiple realities, these dreams might not be predictions, but actual experiences from a reality where events are unfolding differently. Of course, this theory doesn't make your nightmares any less distressing. However, it does offer a different way of looking at them. Instead of seeing your recurring nightmare as a problem to be solved, you could view it as a unique window into the vast, interconnected nature of reality. 8. Your nightmare might be a call to spiritual awakening. What if your recurring nightmare isn't a curse, but a blessing in disguise? Many spiritual traditions view nightmares not as mere disruptions of sleep, but as powerful catalysts for personal and spiritual growth. In some Native American cultures, nightmares are seen as visits from spirits, bringing important messages or warnings. The nightmare is not something to be feared, but a sacred experience to be respected and learned from. Similarly, in Jungian psychology, nightmares are often interpreted as the psyche's attempt to bring attention to neglected or repressed aspects of the self. The terrifying elements of the dream represent parts of yourself that you've rejected or failed to integrate. From this perspective, your recurring nightmare could be a call to spiritual awakening. It's your soul's way of nudging you towards greater self-awareness and personal evolution. The nightmare keeps recurring because there's a lesson you haven't fully grasped or a part of yourself you haven't yet acknowledged. This doesn't mean you should passively accept the nightmare. Instead, it invites you to engage with it actively. Try meditating on the imagery and emotions of the dream. What might they symbolize in your waking life? What aspects of yourself might you be neglecting or rejecting? Some people find it helpful to perform rituals or ceremonies around their nightmares. This could be as simple as writing down the dream and ceremonially burning the paper, symbolically releasing its hold on you. Or it could involve creating art inspired by the dream as a way of honoring and integrating its message. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.